So yeah, there's a guy named the Pope over here. Starting a Kickstarter with a goal of $10 just seems obnoxious, especially when a stretch goal starts as $15 and go up to $75, 75,000 for a mechanic as simple as local multiplayer. Also, why don't you do your job as a developer instead of begging people for money so you can add basic functions like full screen mode and controller support? Okay, I'm getting a little too heated. Good luck with your greenlight campaign. It's retro, so it will likely get greenlit even if it's a piece of shit. Hello, Mr. the Pope. So yeah, I just wanted to address to that, because there's a couple of things in there that before I was a game developer, I would agree to a couple of points. It's like why do we need like $15,000 for something like local multiplayer, or full screen mode or controller support, Okay, so first, full screen mode. If we just like take the thing was done in the dimensions of a 640 like this. Okay, bloop. It was done on this dimension. If we just take that and put that in full screen mode, just like this, boom, it looks super ugly, It's gonna be stretched and everything is ugly. So we have to check the camera and have the camera show a little more the level, And then when you do that, sometimes it screw up the game. Sometimes there's a lot of empty room everywhere. So some levels just break or some place just doesn't work anymore. There will be some leap of faith here and there. So the player would go like, I'm gonna jump over there. Whoops, there was a leap of faith. I did not know that I would die over there. 0 out of 5, you fucking idiot. So we get comments like that, So just activated the full screen mode. Takes a while to do, it's not just about stretching the thing, it's about looking about every single level and see if it still works, if it's still interesting and stuff, So it's basically a lot of work just for the full screen mode. And then controller support. That's something as well that when I was young, when I started as a game developer, I said, oh, controller support, it's going to be done like in a day. Actually link the thing to like, if I press A, attack, or if I press A, do jump or whatever, that's easy. But then you realize that what happens if I unplug the controller like in mid-game? What happens if I have no controllers? I have to make the tutorial to show controller's button if the controller is plugged in, and if I unplugged it, I'm gonna revert to the keyboards. And I also need to put a new screen to say you can map a new button on the controllers. So, it seems super easy at first, but then you realize that there's a lot of little details here and there that if you forget, people is gonna be mad at you for forgetting that little details, It just be like, imagine for a second I would be building a house, So like, okay, I know how to build a house. I need a living room, I need a kitchen, I need a couple of rooms and stuff like that, And I get to finish the house, I give it to you, and you go through the front door and there's no handle on the door. And you're like, where the fuck is there the handle on the door? I cannot enter the house. And I go like, yeah, but the living room is super beautiful and the kitchen is super bright. Yeah, but I can't enter the fucking house. 0 out of 5, worst house ever. So there's a lot of little details like that in the game that you don't realize that it takes so much time and actually destroy the whole game if you forget that one little detail, So yeah, controller support, full screen mode, even Steam achievement, the same thing. Achievements takes a lot of time because you have to find some achievement, you have to find something interesting, you have to find something challenging, you have to put them in the game, you have to create icons, you have to think about a cool name, a cool description, and test the whole thing. Cloud support, same thing, you have to test the whole thing, and etc. So yeah, that's about that. That's why it takes a lot of money to just finish the game, Just for full screen mode and controller support. Local multiplayer, man, that's big. Just adding a second hero on the game is super easy, but then the camera doesn't work. The game is super boring because the two characters just follow it themselves, and one character is basically doing nothing. You have to spawn some enemies here and there, So you have to rethink the whole game, basically, for a side-scroller like that. So, yeah. You know, I just wanted to say it, why I'm not insulted by your comment on anything. I just wanted to, you know, give you a little insight from a game developer of what work is involved, you know? Like, I like that part. Why don't you do your job as a game developer instead of begging people for money? That is beautiful. But you know, I'm doing my job as a developer because I'm making the game, and the thing is, if... Okay, I have kids to feed. And if... How can I say that? My kids doesn't give a fuck about my dreams. They don't give a fuck about my games. They want cereal. The $10 goal is just because we wanted to see how many people were interested in the game, you know? Because if we didn't do that, we couldn't really know if people were interested, you know? Like, really. And if nobody was interested, what will be the point to spend 2 more months of job, of my own salary, of my own time, on a game that nobody wants? So yeah, man, the $10 thing is just that we wanted to see if people were interested in it, you know? We are not looking for... I mean, the money will help, obviously, but I really hate it when people really jump on the guns and call us, like, greedy bastards and shit like that, you know? I'm a coder, and if I just go across the street and raise my hand, I'm gonna get a new job and double my salary, like that, you know? Which is not the case. Instead, I prefer to make games instead, you know? So if I was a greedy bastard, I would stop making games and just go and make money. So yeah. So that's about it, Mr. The Pope, which I'm starting to think you're not the real Pope. I'm gonna link that highlight for you. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, you're cool. I know you're beautiful inside. I still love you, Mr. The Pope. Alright?